I don't have enough time. I just can't sit still during the meditation. Mindfulness just isn't for me. If you are experiencing issues practicing mindfulness, I think that you're trying way too hard. Here are four easy, effortless tips for you to be able to practice your mindful engagements. Here with the detail, Ramon Phipps. Mindfulness. This pursuit of happiness that we are all on throughout the course of our life is one that lacks mindful engagement. The day-to-day activities, the monotony that we involve ourselves in throughout the course of our 24-hour day all lacks mindful engagement. And a lack of mindful engagement creates a very unaware person. This lack of awareness can be very problematic when it comes to managing emotions, thoughts, and stresses all the same. And being in this condition is the entirety of some individuals' human experience. It doesn't have to be yours. We can allow ourselves to just focus and fixate on the idea of mindfulness being this trip to the Himalayas, or you going on a nice yoga retreat, or maybe picking out a meditation pillow, setting it up somewhere nice, and just staying there in silence for an hour. But that's hardly what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is a full engagement with your mind. Being able to do this only means that it's a choice. So, for anybody out there who's having trouble practicing mindfulness, let's throw out a couple exercises for you to take advantage of and start your mindful engagement. Number one, journaling. Now, we're all used to writing. We can definitely scribble a couple things on the piece of paper, and regarding journaling, it's very much the same thing. It actually is this mindful engagement that takes a tool that we've already been utilizing throughout the course of our life and just puts a therapeutic emphasis on it. There are about 3 to 4 different ways that you can partake in journaling exercises. One would be reflective journaling, which is where we're writing stories, truthful stories about our past experiences in order for us to review them on a later date and form more cohesive understandings in our mind. The second is processing. Generally, you want to use this type of journaling for your emotional experiences. It's very good to be able to identify feelings so that as you process through your emotions and your experiences alike, you can see how they made you feel and how your behaviors follow suit. The third type of journaling will be planning. Now, this is looking towards the future. This may be your goal setting and your goal strategizing. This is a great way for us to look at tomorrow, whether it's the next 24 hours or the next year, and start to identify in detail how we are going to be proceeding into our future successes. And the last type is the type that much more people are comfortable with, creative journaling. Now, this could be your songwriting, your poetry writing, anything that sparks creativity within you. Journaling does not have to be a chore. If you don't even know how to spell, you can still journal. There's no excuses. But this all is a mindful engagement, from putting pen to paper and writing. A lot of people may have that preconceived notion. It's like, oh, well, I'm not good at writing, or nothing comes out. But I guarantee you, if you set a time period for 5 to 10 minutes and you dedicate yourself to say that I am just going to put pen to paper, whatever comes, comes, then you will come to find a little bit more is happening within this mind of yours. Exercise number 2, go for a walk. Well, you're going to want to leave the phone home, or at the bare minimum, turn on airplane mode. Dedicate 30 to 40 minutes, maybe an hour, however long you so choose, to go for a walk in your local environments. And hopefully you live in a nice, safe area, or an area where you don't necessarily have to worry about walking. Because walking not only is a fun therapeutic activity for you to just allow yourself to get physically moving, which is a big deal in itself, it allows you to, of course, engage with the world around you. Whether you're in the midst of the city with all the hustle and bustle, or of course the tall trees that you may find in your nice rural areas. Running away from all this external stimuli is not the point of the mindful engagement. Actually, just engage with it is the point of this activity. If I'm going for a walk, down a busy city street and I see flashing lights, I hear loud cars and everything, and normally these things would give me a headache and just cause a lot of irritation within me because I'm trying to focus on something else. Well, now that I'm not focused on anything else, just to walk, let me go ahead and enjoy it all. Let me go ahead and enjoy these people. Let me enjoy the loud noises. Let me enjoy the bright lights instead of not allowing myself to enjoy them. Instead of allowing myself to get angry or frustrated from them. Instead of allowing myself to just walk and pass them by like I do on a daily basis. Let me stop and smell the roses. See the detail in the picture. Mindful engagement number 3. Meditation and breathing exercises. Now, while I know that this is a form of mindfulness that many people may have issues with, again, it's not difficult. And if you have issues with meditation, I recommend trying breathing exercises first and foremost, which you can explore in length on this channel here. I specialize in breathing exercises. Breathing exercises are a great way for you to complement your mindful experience because not only do you have physical, tactile engagement with the breath work, but you also have that meditative experience going along with it, especially with my guided meditations. So you get the best of both worlds. But sometimes you might just want to select one. Maybe you want to do some breathing exercise to put yourself to sleep, purely because of the stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system that takes place, which helps improve your overall ability to get rest. Possibly you just want to do a select meditation to focus on some thought patterns that you're dealing with, such as a meditation for anxiety, or a meditation for inner child work, or a meditation for you to be able to learn to practice acceptance towards some traumas that you experienced in the past. Meditations are a great way for you to mindfully explore yourself so that you're able to find yourself. And at the end of it all, you get to have this very cathartic, rewarding experience to say that I did it. And I was able to look into maybe some forgotten corners or some repressed corners of my mind, just so I can move ahead with a little bit more happiness, with a little bit more awareness, with a little bit more skillfulness in my everyday life. Now, if you want to bolster things a little bit, if you really want to get into the meat of mindful experiences, then I'll recommend starting off with one particular exercise called the 5 sense exercise. So the 5 senses exercise is when you literally use the 5 senses to commit to a mindful engagement. Now, the good thing about this exercise is it's a very organized type of experience. You're just focusing on one sensory response at a time. So, you begin a 5 senses exercise by, of course, locking into your senses. Sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell. These senses in themselves are all natural. That's the great thing about them. So, it begins by identifying 5 things that you can see. Trees, dirt, car, sky, anything. But it must be there in front of you. 5 things that you can hear. Maybe you hear some birds chirping. Maybe you hear some cars rumbling. Possibly you hear some kids screaming. 5 things that you can smell. Depending on where you are, this can be very easy, but you might find that there are some limitations. Maybe you're out in nature and the smell is not that identifiable. Maybe you don't need to put an exact label on it, but just notice it. Just notice when you can smell the dew on the leaves. Just notice when you can smell the dirt on the ground. Just notice when you can smell the little critter running by your leg. Just notice. You don't need to always put a label on it. Of course, taste. If you don't have a particular stimulus that offers you taste, such as food or beverage, then you're not necessarily going to be able to taste anything except what's already in your mouth. Now, that might already be your mindful engagement. Maybe it's that coffee you drank 2 hours ago. That can taste on my taste buds. What am I able to engage with? Touch. What are some things that you can touch? Possibly it's going to be the clothing on your skin. You're just locking into how the fabric feels against your skin. Maybe as you're doing this 5 senses exercise, you might be outdoors or on a walk. And maybe now you can feel the ground underneath your feet. Maybe you can feel the breeze against your face. This is all the mindful engagement. The only thing that's different in regard to how we normally engage with these things is we're choosing to be aware. That is mindfulness. These exercises will allow you to start to really effortlessly practice mindful engagement, because mindfulness is not just this condition of us being on a meditation pillow and going through an hour-long guided experience. It's not that. It's us choosing to be aware. And when we choose to be aware, we choose to empower ourselves with that awareness, empower our senses with that awareness, create this engagement that helps us not only explore ourselves, but explore our human experience from a very objective plane of understanding. Mindfulness is about you. And if you allow yourself to be given any lick of attention throughout the course of this 24 hours, then please recognize that you deserve it and you will inevitably grow from it. Stay mindful, because if you don't, who will for you? This has been Ramon Phipps with The Detail. I hope you got something from these 4 tips today. Stay tuned for